Hey everybody, welcome back to Farming Simulator 22. We're back on Court Farms and our contractor series / farm build, and it's July. We're in July, so big harvest coming up in this episode. We're also going to be tackling the big grass field, but we're going to be doing that with courseplay, and we're going to try and get it all done, hopefully anyway. It's going to be all courseplay though, so the aim is to do silage again because that's where we make the money from. So we're getting a second cut off that, which again is going to be probably over £100,000 into the bank account when that's all fermented and ready to sell. So that's going to be part of the main focus of this episode, is obviously the harvest that we're going to be tackling, and then the grass silage that we're going to be using courseplay for. But before we get into that, again, just want to shout out everyone that helps support me and the channel through Ko-fi and through YouTube. Really do appreciate it. I try and update this members board once every week potentially, but worst case scenario is like once every 10 days. So yeah, just a big shout out to every single one of you. I really do appreciate it. It really means the world to me, so thank you for that. Right, so first task is we're going to try and just sort out a bit of an auto drive route because it's a bit of a mess at the moment and we need this probably sorted out. Now, it's the farm that I'm talking about, so what we're going to do is just going to try and tidy up some of this and redo a bit of it because we're going to need it today for the harvest, because I want to actually just do the harvesting and use auto drive to cart back to the silo. One thing I do want to look at is I have got an error over here. So you see where it says 4.2 or 4_2 and then you've got 4_1. That's because an error's formed. Now, that happens because obviously I'm using the auto drive guys route for Court Farms. Bloody hell, I forgot the name of the map then. So if I end up doing any edits to it like I have with this farm area, because obviously this was just like one field before and then this is what I've done manually just to come in. Obviously, it kind of messes up. So that if you ever see these signs whilst in editing mode, and you go into the kind of like workers menu in the game menus on the left hand side there, that the one that's got the steering wheel, it'll show you like all your auto drive routes. You can see that this is a really obviously sophisticated one done by the auto drive guy because it's pretty much everywhere. So it's all sorted out. So I highly recommend go and check out the Auto Drive Guy's YouTube channel because he's pretty much got most maps that have ever been done as a mod map and so on for FS22. If it's pretty new, you obviously need to give him time to work on it. But yeah, really recommend it because it's faultless, really, the work that they do, because it helps people that use Auto Drive just get straight into gaming on that map. So we've obviously got two here that I need to sort out. So if you ever see these signs, that means that you've kind of got like a dead end of some sorts or something that just doesn't make sense. So I'm actually going to use my keyboard and mouse for this because you can actually press Control and then use your left mouse stick. Well, Control basically puts a new waypoint. So you left Control and left click on the mouse does that. But if you hold left Alt and then left click on the mouse, you can delete things off. So we're going to just delete this stuff off, because like that there doesn't need to be like that anymore, basically. And I've also got to figure out why I've got three paths there. What is it, 4? No, it's 3. Usually I'd expect maybe 2 or 4 because there's 2 ways to go out and 2 ways to come in. So I must have connected that somewhere, which is fine if that's the case. But yeah, we want to basically get rid of this. We want to start again just on this way, or just on this bit, and then we're going to hopefully try and hopefully we're going to try and delete most of this off and start again. So an easy way to do that is, well, what's around me is just do this, and I think then if that's coming in, that's also coming in. What we can do is just link that together, and then this can be the one that's obviously driving like in. So that's. No, I've done that wrong, haven't I? Yes, I have. So let's delete that one. So that's coming in, and that is too. So what we need to do is pretty much just link them together like that. And then this one is coming in. So they're out, that's in. There we go. We've got that sorted out. So we've got 2 waypoints here to tackle with. And I think then what we can do is just slowly drive around. So I'm going to put it down to probably about 2 miles an hour just for this, and obviously you can probably do a bit quicker than that, maybe 4. Yeah, it's literally just going to drive around deleting these waypoints off just to clear kind of like this entrance area, and we're going to do it again because we want to use the silo, we want to tip into it. Yeah, this just allows me to reset it and kind of start again. And I know that I've obviously got this over here, which is technically like a field boundary that we don't want. It's even going through the cowshed. So we definitely need to sort that out. I'm not too fussed about that stuff. We're not going to be, you know, obviously need to make this custom. I need to make an auto drive route that kind of drives all the way through here and then basically just fixes it. And then we can set waypoints like for the cow shed and the chickens and the sheep and all that stuff, and anything that we need to deliver, pick up from, or anything like that. So now that we've done that, we've basically deleted out them two little bugs. But what we can do is set up a new course. Now, we just want to have two. That's the main focus of this. We want to have one that comes into the farm at the moment and then kind of loops back out to go out again. But we want to separate that off because we don't want to get someone that I've set to come to the farm, because they're just going to stop there then and it'll block the route for anyone that's like coming into cart into the silo. So we need to make sure it's separate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this off manually just because I know where I want this tractor to end up. And I also know where I want this loop to kind of go. So I'll just show you what I mean because it'll make more sense. So what I'm going to do is I've got this one coming in. So we can just separate that off for the meantime because I'm going to come in from this direction. And then the ones that are coming out, obviously they're going to start turning to go this way. So what I want to do is press Control and then just keep left clicking, because then that can do that. Now from here, probably from about there, I want to do the same. So I know it's going to come in from there. Now what I can do is just connect, I can just do a recording and it will automatically connect this one from that red line pointing to it. That means that you can have that auto connect into that. Now you can do that in the settings menu. So if you go to the universal settings, kind of like the global settings, which is this one here, go down to, oh, it's here. So it's auto connect at the start and the end. I always keep this one to no, but I've just changed this back to no, just so I can show you that putting it to yes and pressing apply now means that if I press record at the start of a recording, it should automatically connect to whatever that is. So as you can see, it's done that now. So I can get rid of my mouse and I can do a nice little loop here. And we're going to do the first one, which is going to be, I mean, we could even go through here and then set this to fuel. So we want another one here. Now, if I do that, obviously someone gets fuel, it's going to stop people coming in. So what I might do, just thinking about it now, it's a bit of a strange one. I mean, what I should do is probably set it up properly just for now, but I didn't want, obviously we've got a big harvest to do and it's kind of like time. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to just set up another route that kind of bypasses out from that. And then what we can do is automatically connect to that. So let's just set this to fuel, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of swing back round, and then that can connect again to it. So if I just stop that from that point, make sure I drive to probably this waypoint here, and just zoom in a little bit so we get a better angle, and then we're going to click this one, which is like new waypoint. We're going to call this SF, which is Scroft's Farm Fuel Refill. There we go, that'll do me. So now that's all sorted out. So then what we can do is obviously connect to that route there now, which is going to be hopefully enough of a gap that they don't kind of hit each other. And we're going to start our recording again, make sure that we've got enough of a distance ahead because we want the, there we go, so we can drive. Now obviously I want to try and make this so it's not going to impact anything else. So this is going to just be Scroft's Farm and park up. So if we just click that and go Scroft's Farm, and then we can carry on driving because this is going to be the way that we get out. Now my only issue is if I've got a trailer or something like a big tool on the back, you know, I need to keep that in mind. Ideally you'd want to take that route there, but that's a bit of a tight bend for anything like a trailer / tractor combination. So what we're going to just do for the meantime is kind of like a loop around, which I think if we kind of predict that we've got a trailer on the back, so we're going to take a wide berth, aren't we? and then hopefully then we shouldn't have any issues. Hopefully. Try and line this up the best you can. Stop your recording, and that's pretty much auto drive. I have done a few like tutorials on this, and it's dead easy to use. It seems daunting. Don't get me wrong, it does. The first time you use it, you might be like, oh, it's a lot of work that is, but it isn't. It really is just recording and what you already do. So you're driving a tractor, you just record the kind of loop that you're doing. It's that simple, and it's just about knowing waypoints and stuff. And you will get problems. Don't get me wrong. I still get problems today where I've got to redo something. Maybe I didn't kind of predict the cornering right and the trailer kind of catches. So it will happen. Definitely will happen. So what we want to do is kind of connect that back up. So if someone wanted to come to the farm now, they could refill, and it's a separate line, so that shouldn't impact. They can obviously then get back out from Scroft's farm if we want to send someone, you know, on their merry way to go to a field like we're going to do in a minute with the with this guy with the mower, because we're not going to need this. So let's actually do this now, because then we can go and set it to do the course. I'm going to need to put front mower on, PTO, hose. We'll lift that up. And then we're going to do the rear mower. We're also going to set these to condition, because what we're going to do is we're going to check first, most important thing, is the gate open to the field, the big grass field, because if it is, this will work. So let's leave that at that for a second. Let's just quickly jump over. We probably should do it this way, so it's not, because it causes lag obviously when you've got that in the editing mode, which you can imagine. So you can see that that's all good. Entrance is fine there. Now I'm pretty certain I set this up. I'm pretty certain I did. Looks good to me. It looks fine. So what we can do then, we can use auto drive with courseplay combined and drive the mower straight to the field, and he'll start the job. That's the plan anyway. So what we need to first do, because obviously mowing's, you know, a little bit problematic at times, is we want to make sure we've got that set to click the work width, so it's the tool offset, which it has. All good with that. So I'm going to just put it to 6. I'm going to open this up. It's obviously saving as it does. Right, let's go to this field. We're going to start here, so I think maybe our target first waypoint should be about here. And then field position should be about there, because then it should start at that point. We want to do about 5 headlands again. I'm going to set the overlap up because it just makes my life a lot easier. Hopefully, shouldn't miss bits. Could put it to sharp, but if I do that, actually it should be fine with this tractor because of the fact that it's got, you know, all-wheel turning. Other vehicles, I find that sometimes it can be problematic and hit collisions easier. Smooth's just a nice, smooth way around the field. Yes, you miss bits on the corner, but it kind of reduces the chance of you hitting objects or collisions. We're going to set that to -2 like we did last time. Hopefully that should be all right. In fact, I'll reduce it down just in case, just to be safe, because I'm not actually in there. I wonder why. Not entirely sure why that would happen. Have I got skip a row? No. Let's try smooth. It doesn't like the sharp. There you go. So straight away that was a problem. Let's go back to 5 then. There we go. So I'm happy with that. It should start at that point, and that's all set up. So the next bit is just making sure we've got conditioner on. So this one is on. That one is on. Lift that up. So from this now, all we need to do is make sure that's on first waypoint, which it is. We can take it off editing mode, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to say, right, we want you to drive to Scroft's grass field, and when you get there, I'm going to have to do that now, turn that off, click the courseplay button, and then press go. Now first off, just want to make sure, yeah, the vehicle turn is all good. So we press go. It should then start on its own when it gets to the field and start with the courseplay. And that's that simple. That's the beauty of having all drive and courseplay together, connected. So next thing I want to do is just quickly move out all these tractors so I can sort out the course for the trailer combination that's going to be kicking off, which I am actually going to use the Ford for this. Right, so as you can see, he's got here on his own, and he should, in theory, start mowing. Yeah, there you go. So that course is done all on its own. Getting there. So that's just proof of how easy that can be. It can like proper simulate having real workers on the farm. Right, so I've moved everything out the way. What I want to do with this though is I want to actually do a bit of a loop, and yeah, it's because of the fact that I'm obviously I don't want to connect or collide with the current course there. I want it to be on its own, separate, and I kind of just want to come back out that way. It doesn't really matter too much as long as I connect pretty well. Now I obviously need to think that I've got a trailer as well, so that's, you know, a challenge in itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press control here. From that waypoint there, I'm going to connect off. Then I'm going to automatically connect to this one and kind of record a bit of a route where I don't get too close to that other one, because if I do, it'll obviously detect something that's parked there and it'll make this stop. So then what we want to do is just drive through here like this. Always go ahead of it as well, because you can't predict the size of the trailer. So I would do that there, for example, because if you've got a massive trailer on the back, it might not get into the actual tip trigger. So it's better to just make it a lot longer than it needs to be, because as soon as it detects it, it will stop anyway. So we're going to call this SF silo tip, and then we can obviously drive on. Now we've got to try and keep a distance, so it might be a good idea to move my truck out the way from there. And then what we can do here is kind of think, yeah, we've got a trailer, so we're going to take a nice wide angle, and we can connect now back up to that route there, which should, in theory, mean that we can either go right or left if it's all connected up. Spot on. So there we go. That's all done now, which is great news. So let's get everything up to the field using auto drive. I will just go and get this connected to probably the windrow, because I'm going to use the harvester, and I'm going to be using the Ford. The rest is going to be for the grass work. So yeah, we can set it going from here again with courseplay and all that. So if we just get this connected, stick it on this track somewhere, doesn't really matter where, like that, and then we're ready and we're good to go. Right, so we're ready to go. I'm going to drive the harvester up myself. I'm going to get this guy following me behind, but using auto drive, just because I don't want it to have any issues when we get there. We have got crop destruction on, and I want to be able to harvest the field first before he parks up in the field ready to cart with me and unload from the combine. But quickly, I just thought I'd just point out that my money has gone down. So from the last episode, the money did go down. I spent a hell of a lot doing some soil sampling to get this grass field over here sorted out. So if we go to precision farming, that's got nitrogen. I also did some lime in that field as well. So it's pretty much sorted out. So money has jumped down a bit because of that. So soil sampling on this section, and also buying the fertilizer that I needed to get this fertilized and that fertilized. So everything was pretty much set up and sorted on that front, which is great, because now we've got a score still of 79. And if we have a look, I think our lowest score, because that's 58, but that's not a problem at all, because we just need to harvest it again and that'll come up. Same with that one, that's got nitrogen, they're already maximized. This one's pretty spot on, and this one's going to be really good as well. It's going to be improved. Obviously we didn't plant in this canola, but these ones are going to be 100, so we're going to probably, by the end of this episode, potentially be even higher than 79, which is great news for the precision farming side of things. If we also have a look at the animals, they're quite happy and plodding along. The cows, however, can't really get above 36%, which is a bit of a strange one, but it's because of the fact I'm just giving them hay and silage. So the silage that we made in the last episode is now fermented. It's all good. I've stacked it up, but I really need some hay, because I've been using hay bales that I was intended to give the sheep, but luckily the sheep are grazing, so I don't need to do that. So hay is pretty much the next thing to do from that L-shaped field, but also the one just to the right of the silo, just behind the kind of like the small patch that we started off with. Sheep are perfectly fine. Probably need a bit of water at some point, but they're good, producing wool. Same again for these, and the chickens are doing all good. Now, obviously, we're holding on to a lot of this kind of stuff for one, productions, but two, to sell at the best time. So if we have a look at time-saving stock check, You can see that I've got quite a lot of eggs. I've actually got 18,000 litres of them, nearly 19,000. If we sell them now, it's 38,000, but if we hold on till November, which is what we're going to do, it's going to be 47,000 currently. So that'll be even more by then. So that's going to be a really good source of income at that point. Wool, I'm not even going to sell anymore. I'm just putting it straight into fabric, and you can see the production side of things. I've got 2,000 litres of fabric. If I hold on to it, I'm already made £15,000, and that's going to be in May. So we're going to just keep pumping all the wool into the production, and then by the time it's pretty much May time, we're going to take all this fabric, if we haven't already got the next stage of the production, which is obviously making clothes. So that's the aim, is to make clothes and make money in clothes from the wool. But if we've only got, one production, we won't do that. We'll just sell all our fabric at that point. I am storing it, so it's not actually spawning out in my production. I've actually got it set to storing. As soon as I get to 5,000, though, I will spawn out just to see what a pallet looks like. I've got a feeling one pallet's going to be 5,000 litres because I'm using a mod that increases pallets to a bigger quantity, but it only does it with kind of like the base game stuff and maybe a few mods. But obviously, this mod's been out a while now, so some of the stuff, like especially the premium DLC, that kind of production side of things, they still come out around 2,000, 1,000, depending on what they've been set up with base game. But I just wanted to give you a bit of an update of that because of the fact that I have been quite busy. Let's get in the Lexion. Might need a bit of fuel, thinking about it. Just because we're obviously harvesting our big wheat field, not barley, got it right, and our canola field. So I might get a bit of fuel for this. Probably best thing to do. Wrong one. There we go. I want to go there. So what have we currently got? We've got 250 litres in the harvester. And we've actually only got 200 litres left in, so we're going to need to buy some fuel. Might need to buy another 1,000 litres. This will probably consume the whole of that. We're getting close. 32 litres left in the fuel tank, so I actually think it is going to consume the whole of this. Yep, 13. We're getting there. So there we go. Everything that was left in there has now gone into this harvester. But hopefully, it just goes to show how much this holds. But you can see that we're, just over 3/4 full. That should be plenty for what we need. They do consume a lot, man. As you can see, I have actually got a mod that shows me the consumption rate. So right now, even kind of like this low idle pace, it's 11.2 litres an hour at this pace. So an hour of gameplay would be, a lot. Ooh, I've really messed that up. That was a poor turning by me. Let's try that again. Steering wheel and all that with the... Not used to the rear wheel turning of a harvester with the steering wheel, but I'll get better at this. The more I play, the more I get better. Right, so we're going to drive this way, and we're going to go up to field 120 now. The auto drive side of things in these fields are obviously a little bit strange when it comes to what we've done. We've obviously combined this field, but luckily 120 is still canola and setup. So I'm going to tell Courseway to wait at 120, and then probably what I'm going to do is just tell the other one to wait at field 119, because we can still, do this whole harvest, and it should pick us up. So let's go to 120. Let's just check how this guy's getting on. Pretty good so far. Missing a few bits, as to be expected, but not too bad. Right, so I've set this up prior. We've got unload combine set in there. We're going to tell it to go to field 120, and it's going to tip at Silo or Scroft Farm Silo tip. So if we just set that going right now, it should pick up this course here and do a bit of a loop. Now I just want to make sure it takes this corner, and I know it's got no harvester with the same target found, but I will fix that shortly. Ooh, see, that's very close, so I do need to adjust that already, which is not an issue. Let's go and drive anyway before he catches us up. So what we're going to do now then quickly is we're going to change our target point just in drive mode to field 120, so it knows that this is the harvester it needs to link up with. And then as soon as I bring my pipe out and stop, it should come up to me and obviously empty from this harvester. But we've got a bit of a nice slow drive now to get to the field. Luckily, auto drive is following us behind, so I'll do a bit of a jump cut so we can get in this field. So I've been thinking that this section over here could potentially be a bit of a problem. It is a very narrow section of road. I mean, you can tell that the harvester probably is going to struggle just about maybe get through here. But I do need to make a sharp left turn. Now that's the main problem here. Whoa, I mean, that is literally on the limit. But my worry is the carter behind when he comes to drop off. Is this going to be a problem? I predict that we're going to have issues here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of drive on for a second. Just want to see what he does. So the turn itself there is fine. I just hope the turn coming back is fine. Right, so here we go. We're at the field. Now, it's going to be tricky to get the header off here. I might have to... I'm not sure, actually, what I'm going to do, but I need to get to the canola field. And as you can tell, it's very tight, and there's some collisions there. So I think what I'm going to have to do is know that we're not going to be turning right, and I'm going to have to just disconnect from here. And, unfortunately, just drive through the hedge. Like, not ideal, but I don't really know what else I can do. It's all very tight and tricky. Ooh. Right, so have we got straw enabled? Because we want to do that. And we'll unfold. Now, I have set the row off as well. The row is actually on its way to the field. So if we just go and have a look here, you can see that it's driving up on itself. It's going to start a course from here because the mower is doing really well. So if we actually show you from here, there you go. So you can see that he's done the majority of it. So now he's going to start the rowing. We can copy the course and all that stuff. And yeah, the baler can crack on. So we're changed to 119. I did set it to 120, but I found that the gate up at 120 is just way too difficult. It will definitely get caught without question every time because of that collision on that fence. Whereas the hedges have no collisions, it can come in and out. So let's get this started. A lot of faffing going on in this one just to get to the point of harvesting, but we've got to get it done. We want to do straw just because it's good money, and we need the straw bedding now as well for the cows. So what should happen now is that driver, when I put my pipe out, should automatically come over and empty the harvester, and then when it gets close to full, I think I've set it to about 95, he should automatically drive all the way up, tip it, and hopefully that'll be enough time for us to get another full cart, hopefully.
Tonight I leave familiar for the great unknown. Got a couple broken arrows and my hair is grown since you saw me last, talking on an old flip phone. Today I shed the skin of who I used to be. Got Sinatra on a 45, I'm buzzing like a bee. Just hoping you'll come fly with me. I took a Greyhound down to Georgia, then a rental up to Maine. But how I hope for California in the spring. $100 that I'm gonna blow on a used guitar. back down to Nashville, in Carolina in my mind. But I hope for California one more time.
Right, so the harvest is done on the canola field. I've decided that I'm going to leave the other harvest on the bigger wheat field till the next episode. And luckily, we've pretty much got this to the perfect point in the trailer where it's maxed out, or close to maxed out, but enough for it to know that it needs to go and deliver it to this seller. So let's see how this works. So yeah, you can tell straight away that the problem that I said potentially could happen has happened. So what we need to do is we need to move this forward like that. So now it's got into the tip trigger. So again, it was just because of the fact that this was too far this way, and then obviously the front end of that tractor already hit that point and it stopped. So you need it to hit that trigger, so it's always better to go further along. So at least we've done that now, so that can sit quite happily there. And let's actually though look first just to see what we got with our yield. So 25,000 litres from that field isn't too bad at all. And if we have a look in here and look at the price, potentially we can get £32,000 from that, so that's not too bad at all. Now it doesn't need to go back to field 119. Well, actually it does, because we're going to be using, yeah, because we're going to be doing the wheat one in the next video, so we may as well send that up there. Now I am going to just quickly just scoop this out of the way, because it's definitely going to block that route off. There we go. Right, let's have a look over here. Now I have noticed a few of these bales, as you can imagine, cause a bit of an issue. Now they always do that, so I'm not too fussed. You can see it's already happened down here. His own bale. You drop that bale. But we're doing alright. I had to start the windrow course off again. For some reason it was just missing bits. I'm not even sure why that happened, to be honest. So let's just, not sure why that's gone off track so much, but it has. So he's going to miss bits here. Maybe because he got out of line. But yeah, we need to keep them just plodding along. It'll get done. It needs to ferment anyway, so there's no rush. It's just about getting the bales done. Let's just jump back over to here. You can see that we've done pretty well. I think we've got quite a lot of straw from this canola field, so that's going to be good because we can store some, potentially sell some, depends how much we get. We obviously don't need loads, but it's better to have too much than not enough. And if we have a look at our precision farming score, I imagine it's not jumped up too much because of the fact that field wasn't, yeah, it hasn't gone up really that much. Nitrogen was the only thing we ended up doing in that. Still needs pH and everything else, weed control, all that stuff. Yeah, weed control and tillage. But we can do that when we do the next combined field. But it's going to be a big field, the next one is. It's going to be really good. But that's the field we're going to tackle in the next episode, which is going to bring our precision farming score up, because it is 100%. I know we're expected deals at 123, not 125. Not entirely sure why that is. It might be because mulching, or yeah, probably mulching or rolling. Even though I did roll the field, so I don't know if it's to do with mulching. I did use the crop scanner as well. Sometimes I do forget to do that, but I did use the crop scanner whilst spreading fertilizer in the months. You have to do it in the right month as well. It's got to be around April time, when basically when the crop starts to turn green before it's ready to harvest, so when it's flowering kind of thing. You want to make sure you use your crop scanner then. But yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. Not bad at all. So yeah, we'll tackle that in the next episode. So obviously, I'm just going to wait it out for these bales to get done. Again, we're not too far behind. I think that's lagging a little bit now because it probably hit a bale. But it shouldn't take long at all. Fast bales are a really good bale of our Mark IV, so it flies through it. But before we do a bit of a jump cut right to the end, I want to talk to you about, obviously, our plan when it comes to getting some new kit. And we need a bigger tractor, 250 to 300. In fact, doing that harvest just then made me realise if we ever get to the point where we're getting these bigger fields and it's just getting bigger each time around each year, we're going to need a bigger harvester at some point as well. And it might be an idea that we sell our current harvester to contribute to a new one. 152,000 for a harvester isn't bad at all. It's good money, but we want to try and get a bigger header. That's the main thing. So 6.6 meters for a header. We need a bigger harvester basically. But what I did do is obviously the mod that allows me to have more items in the used vehicle sale kind of section of the shop is a mod called, I think it's called Vehicle Sale Customizer. It's on Model, but it's been there for a while. And in that, there's an XML where you can edit the amounts of vehicles that you potentially can get on offer, and also the price limit. So sometimes they cut off at 2,000, I think, within the base game, so anything below 2,000 won't actually show up, but I've changed it to about 500 just because someone might be selling a very old bag of seeds or something, so I wanted to kind of make it about £500, but I've also upped it now that potentially we can have up to 50 items in this, because obviously I want to try and get a tractor, but not just that. I think it's probably more realistic that the used market actually is quite wide. It has a lot of things on offer, so I don't think having the original 5 is anywhere near what it should be. And I upped it to 25, so I've just doubled it again to 50. So by doing that, we've actually had a few things on offer now. I did have a look, and unfortunately, there's only one tractor that stands out. But the problem is it's just way too much. It's not a good enough deal for what I think we can get. I think we can do better. But I am just going to scoop through this because that's a decent plough for 5,000. Not bad at all. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, look, seed, bag of seeds. So there is some seeds on offer. And I did see one tractor, this one. So this is right where we want. It's like 270 to 400, but at 270, it's not quite good enough. And if I wanted, say, to get it to about, let's say 320, it's pretty much what I need. It's already 182,000. And I think that's a lot more than what I got last time on offer for that 8R, 7R, whatever it was. But also, I'd want this in as well. So that's 15,000 on top. It's already 200 grand. It just doesn't feel like we're getting a very good deal with that. I think there's going to be something better on offer. There's a few harvesters as well, but the headers for them aren't as good. This is a nice harvester. It's massy. But again, probably the header's the same size with that. And yeah, you can see that we're not getting anything else. That's the same tractor we've got now, just a different mod version of it. So yeah, I think we need to keep an eye out again, but at least we've got a better chance now. More on offer. Let's actually have a look at harvester headers, because I do want to get above 6. So I think we're talking like, that's a 7.5, and that goes with this one, which we actually own. So technically, what we could do is just get a bigger header first. It's a strange one. Let's have a look at that again. So which header do I actually own? I own that one, so 6.6, but I can get up to this one, which is 7.5. I think that's a no-brainer then. We should sell the one we've got and purchase that one, definitely, because straight away that's much, that's a big improvement. And then, just trying to look now, see what we can get up to. 7.5, I think, if we get to the big field, then, the 8.5s are really good. Even that's a nice one, 7.6 Massey. And then you got a 9.2 Massey. Which one does that combine with, though? That's the big Massey Ferguson Ideal one. So that's a beast of a machine. Really nice, though. Yeah, we'll definitely have a look at harvesters, but I think I might improve the header at least. I think that's a good first step. Everyone's still working well on this field. Hopefully so. Looks that way. And yeah, no bales should be impacting. I have tried to move them from around the edges, like this one, we can just place over there. But I think what I'll do now is I'll do a bit of a jump cut in game, wait for this field to finish, and then in the start of the next episode, we can solely focus on that harvest. And I'll probably keep the episode in July day 2, just because it is going to be a bit of a hefty job, and it's a much bigger field than what we've just done. So yeah, why not? Right, there we go. That's the second cut of this big silage field, all done and baled up. 10,000 litre bales like last time. This is again is going to turn out over 100,000, which is going to help us out. Tension with that is probably like definitely paying off some of the loan. We've got to look at getting obviously the bigger header for the harvest, so that's a definite for the next time round we harvest. We also need to look at the production side of things. I'm happy with the farm itself right now. I don't need to invest into that, but yeah, I want to chip away at that loan for sure. So if we just have a quick look, we got 46 bales, again, really good. So 460,000 litres technically. And look at that, 706 bales we've done in this series so far in, what, 27 episodes? So that's a lot of bales. We've been smashing out the bales. Yeah, I'm just having a look at seeing anything else we've done. Total, we've worked in 539 acres. Well, it says worked hectares, but then acres. So is it hectares or is it acres? I'm going to say it's acres. I think so. It's a bit confusing. We haven't done any ploughing. Not any ploughing at all. We've harvested 120 acres. That's good. Sprayed a lot more. We spent 8 hours harvesting in total. It's good though. It's good to know that we've driven 822 miles and 33 miles in this episode. We've used over 4,000 litres of fuel. I do like this kind of stuff. It gives me an idea as well how many missions I've done as well. So 31 in total, and we've played for 3 years. So not too bad at all. Collectibles, only 42 out of 100 done. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked with that. But we've got the bales, and that's the main thing. So yeah, we're just going to leave them out here to ferment. Again, we're going to probably spread some fertilizer on here. Solid fertilizer is probably best to do as soon as the bales have been collected and sold. Then we're going to try and get a third cut. We definitely need to get a third cut from this field. Even if I don't wait until they're fully grown, I'm just going to cut it the last chance I get to make some silage. Because obviously, January is the best time to sell silage. So we need to make sure we get that third cut in, definitely. So if we have a look at your grass silage, we've got 100,000 litres stocked up, and look, January's the best time to up to 307. So we need to make sure we do that. Probably around, I'd say October could be, a good time to do the next cut, and then it'll be fermented in time for January. So that's going to be the aim. But we're doing all right. We've got obviously 25,000 litres of canola. We've got 3,000 litres of wheat stored up in the silo. We're going to have to keep some of the wheat just because we need to feed our chickens who are producing a lot of eggs, which is going to be really good. 47,000 pounds so far in November. That's going to go up by the time we sell it. So it's definitely wise to save some to feed them. Production-wise, we're actually doing really well. We just need to kind of let it tick along, especially the fabric. It does take some time. So we can only potentially make here 1,440 litres, let's call it, or units, whatever you want to say, of wool fabric or fabric wool in a month, because you can only do 1,400 cycles in a month. So yeah, it's a slow going kind of process, isn't it, really? That's not the worst. There is some that are a lot slower than that. But yeah, we can only make 1,400. So we're going to be using up potentially, let's just say 3,000 litres. I know it's a little bit less, but 3,000 litres of wool a month. So we need to make sure we're putting 3,000 litres in. We've already got 10, so that's fair. That's 3.5 months, you could say, for the production building to kind of keep active. And I think we make more wool than we do fabric. So we'll have to have a look. We'll have to have a look to see what we're doing. If we max out our wool in there to 45,000, then we may as well start selling it at that point with the fabric, because there's nothing else we can do. But it's a good thing to keep an eye on, I'd say. And we do need to try and get these cows up as well. So a feed mix is going to be important at some point, because I want to get TMR in there. I want to try and get the milk at the maximum we can potentially do with that one. So we're going to have hay as well when we cut the next grass fields on the farm. We've got silage, got plenty of silage, so we're not too worried about that. But we do need to get a kind of feed mix going. So I need to try and find a cheap TMR mix. Now, I don't think I saw one. I don't think so in here, but I'll keep an eye out for that. I'm going to write it onto the shopping list. So currently, shopping list is a TMR mixer. We also need a new header. We need a new tractor. We need the production building to turn the fabric into actual clothes. And then we also need a new harvester. So there is a lot going on, a lot of things to buy. We also need to keep chipping away as well and buying the field. So definitely busy and definitely need the money. So let's go over to this here so we know where we're at for the next episode. Literally the next episode is going to follow on straight after this one. So we're going to be in July 2 still, same time. I'm actually also going to be doing some baling, but with the square baler this time. It's been a while since I've used this, and the reason is the grab that we've got, the automatic grab for the round bales, won't work on this. So we're going to be doing some manual unloading and loading on a bale trailer. Now I'm going to get the nice attachment that we can get through the Straw Harvest DLC that's come out, or mod that's come out recently. So that can go on a telehandler. We can bring that up here and we can start grabbing them from the ground that way. I think that's going to be the best way to do this. It's a shame I can't buy the connection that drops in 3s from the Straw Harvest pack and get it onto that baler, because I obviously can't afford the other baler. But yeah, I fancy just doing some square straw bales. They're easy to stack on the farm as well. So we'll be tackling that in the next episode. But on that note, I am going to leave the video there. So thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, give it a thumbs up because that does help me out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll see you in the next one.